Chinadialogue was launched in July 2006. It is funded by a range of institutional supporters, including several major charitable foundations. As the founder and editor-in-chief of the website, Isabel Hilden praised China's achievement in environment protection.
I think people don't quite realize that China has been making great efforts since the 11th five-year plan and through the 12th five-year plan, we're talking 10 years really, has been trying to get a hold of the pollution problem and trying to move towards a more sustainable model of development. And there have been some successes. So, for instance, sulfur dioxide has been reduced. It's come down 15%. That's quite good. Targets have been set for energy efficiency, energy density, and those have pretty much been met. I could point to a huge program of afforestation, to compensate for previous decades of deforestation, but nevertheless a big program.
Despite the progress, Isabel said China's pollution fighting is a long and arduous way. The UK experienced smog in the past and then upgraded its industry structure and made its environment clean. Isabel suggested China learn from other countries to tackle its own problems.
Well, I think the first difficulty is one of scale. This is a very big country and it's a very big problem. And China, is simultaneously trying to effect a kind of strategic U-turn on the economy, so to clean up the economy in terms of current and future production, and at the same time deal with a toxic legacy from the last 20 or 30 years. So air pollution, water pollution, and particularly soil pollution. Soil pollution is a big problem. It's actually much easier to clean up air and water than it is to clean up soils. So that is going to be a big problem for some time to come. I think in terms of governance, we've seen a lot of progress in legislation, for instance, and in regulation. We've seen a lot of progress in things like environmental courts. We've seen a lot of progress in realistic fines. One of the problems that China had was that the fines for polluting were so low that actually it was just cheaper to pay them if you were ever caught than to avoid pollution.
In his annual report at the National People's Congress, Premier Li Keqiang compared pollution to a blight on people's quality of life. He promised that the world's biggest emitter of carbon dioxide will cut such emissions by at least 3.1% this year.
You have an energy mix which is still 70% dependent on coal, and that's highly polluting. You can't change that overnight. But I think that we tend to think of these things as problems and challenges, and they are. So I think that keeping one's eye on the possibility that running a cleaner, greener, healthier economic system is actually also a rather positive thing to do. I think that's because that incentivizes people. You're not just thinking this is all about sacrifice, we can't grow. You can grow, and China has a tremendous potential to be a really powerful green power. And I very much hope that China continues to pursue that goal because it's better for China and it's better for the world.
During the two sessions, China's academic-turned-environment chief Chen Jining has pledged tougher environmental law enforcement, innovation, and market leverage to help the world's most populous country cut pollution.